Okay. I'd never wait for anybody to come in the building because hell, who the fuck coming in here anyways? Most people just wait until after they think the shit over with and watch it anyhow, right? I mean, who really watches a live, right? And I mean, maybe that's just my own personal view of the lives because it don't matter whether I really like the person or not. I always end up catching a live late. Even if I hit the notification bell, like notify me when the shit's supposed to start, I always end up being late. I guess that's a black thing. I'm still on CPT, I suppose. But I just wanted to get on here today and, just ask or, just bring up the topic. Men who dog out good women, okay? And then end up being with prostitutes. I'm so confused by it. I swear to God, this shit is so confused to me. I mean, I've had various men. I've watched various men. I've seen various men do these things. It's like y'all will leave a good woman and then y'all will go and get with a trick hoe. What the fuck they do that at? I'm just so confused by it. So I just wanted to, hey there. Hi there. I just wanted to ask, like, is that normal? I suppose that's just like good men who get dogged out by women only for those women to end up with men who beat their ass. I suppose that's the same type of, thing. But I'm just so confused by it. Like, I'm so confused how anyone could fix their mouth to talk down on someone who actually gives a fuck about them. Someone who actually wants to see them grow. Someone who actually wants to help them grow. And then end up with a trick bitch. Like, I ain't dogging nobody. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I done did some strange things for some change myself. However, I also worked towards bettering myself so I didn't have to do those things. You see? And that's what it's just confusing to me. I mean, if you got a woman who's been there, done that, and has built herself to a position where she no longer has to do those things. Like, I literally used to be a stripper. You see what I'm saying? And I worked my ass off. And I hustled my ass off until I got to the point where I didn't have to no longer strip for a living. You see what I'm saying? And it's a difference. I mean, it's all different types of sex workers. There are tricks. There are trick hoes. There are bitches that's getting pimped. There are women who strip to get themselves through to the next phase of their life. There are women who strip just so they can pick up tricks. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of different ways to be a sex worker. However, if you come across a woman who has put in the work to get herself out of a certain type of situation or lifestyle, and then you feel as though it's necessary for you to degrade said woman so that you can feel better about yourself as a man, only to end up with a fucking prostitute. What the fuck they do that at? What do they do that? I mean, I'm all for loving a good black man. I'm all for loving a good man. I'm all for supporting a good man. I'm all for supporting a man who ain't really all that good, but he trying to get there. I work with a nigga. But what I will not stand for, and what I will never understand, is the mere fact that you can't see the potential in me, but you want me to see the potential in you. You can't see my potential, but you want me to see yours. What does that work? Where does that work? I mean, and I'm gonna tell you, man, like I've seen it. Like, I've literally seen it with my own eyes. This ain't some shit that I'm just making up because, I'm in my feelings. No, this is some shit that I'm really confused about. Like, I really would like, at some point for somebody to explain to me how the fuck is that reality? Like, how the fuck is it that a good woman cook for you, clean for you, support you, help you pay the bills? How is she the scum under your shoe? But you will go and kiss a trick hole's ass. You will go kiss that bitch ass. You will kiss that bitch ass. You will jump through hoops to be with that bitch. You will demean and degrade the woman who is supporting you just to go be with a trick bitch for her to pimp the shit out of you. Y'all niggas need to wake up. I mean, it was all good and well and fine when women was doing the dumb shit and y'all was doing the dumb shit. But at what point, as a culture, do we elevate ourselves? At what point do we hold these motherfucking men accountable like we drag these women through the mud? You will get on here and you will see women degrade other women for mediocre men. Mediocre motherfucking men. Niggas can't even take care of themselves. Niggas don't even know how to wash their own drawers. They will get on here and degrade their own fellow women. What the fuck? I mean, at least niggas got a guy code. At least men have a guy code. You see what I'm saying? What the fuck is the code for women? Where is the code for women? And when do these whining ass babies get up off they motherfucking woman and correct themselves? I've seen so many men, black men, white men, Puerto Rican men, Asian men. I've seen, you know, you're right. It does. It happens to both men and women who are lost spiritually, but it's sort of a cycle that we're in. Because the ones who are waking up spiritually are being drugged back by the ones who refuse to do the work. Okay? They are lying to themselves. They are lying to others. And they really looking for their mothers. You know? And I get it. Like, I get it. I've had the daddy issues. Well, I'm looking for a man to show me what a man is supposed to be. Because I didn't have that. So I understand the search. I understand the levels of it, where you're doing the work and you're going from one level to the next level and you're getting through these demons that you got hidden in your closet. I just want to know, when do we hold these men accountable? Do men rag on each other like women do? Because a bitch will talk about you like you ain't shit. And then she'll lay down with the man that you're laying down with. They'll talk about you like you ain't shit and then lay down with your nigga. They'll talk about you like you ain't shit and then covet everything that that man and you create. So we got to hold somebody accountable. Somebody got to be held accountable. Somebody has to hold their self accountable. Because I've seen this on multiple occasions. It's not like I'm just making it up. Like, I've seen one person do it and, you know, oh, it's just one person. No, I've seen multiple men do this where they dog out good women and then end up with the bitch who don't want nothing but their money. Well, baby, where's your circle at? Because the circle that I'm watching, they're not doing that. They're accepting mediocre women and mediocre men. They are accepting the foolishness. They are accepting the foolishness. And nobody ain't telling them that what they doing ain't right. And, you know, I don't know where you at. You know, I mean, maybe I need to come where you at. But nonetheless, what I do know is this. We got to wake the fuck up, people. When you have spent your life dealing with women who ain't shit, that's for my men. Or For my women, you spent your life dealing with men who ain't shit. You done took a lot of hits. Don't settle. Don't settle. If the person that you see yourself as is being tainted by the person that you're with, then you need to let them go. Let them go. It's okay to be alone. It is okay to be alone. Like, it's okay. You know, both men and women need to hear this. It is okay to be alone. I seen a short the other day. I was on TikTok, you know. I seen a short with Plies, and Plies said something, and you know, this is something that I took to heart because I feel this. Plies said that, you know, back in the days, his mother would refuse and spent a long time by herself because she refused to sacrifice her morals, her dignity. She refused to sacrifice those things for any man, any woman. So she spent a lot of time, you know, by herself. And I've seen it. My mama spent a lot of time by herself, you know. You right, we do all do what we want. Somebody got to say it, you know. Somebody got to be the voice of reason. Somebody has got to acknowledge the fact that we are fucking up. We fucking up. I mean, I've done it myself, so I'm not speaking from like, oh, I'm trying to be a hypocrite. No, I'm speaking from experience and, you know, just looking at my environment and looking at the things people do, and I don't understand it. I don't understand how we think that this is going to elevate us as a people. You know, think about your children. I don't got kids. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't got to worry about that. However, I will say this. Think about your children for a second. And think about the fact that they see everything that you're doing. And they're watching. And they're taking notes. And before you know it, your little 2-year-old will be just as grown as you are. You know? Before you realize it, your little 2-year-old will be picking up those nasty words that you say to your wife. Before you know it, your little 2-year-old will be accepting the bullshit from others because that's what they watched you do. Hey, I don't got no problem not being alone, but I do have a problem with bullshit. So I'd rather be alone and deal with the bullshit. I don't have no tolerance for bullshit. And, you know, I can't make it make sense, you know. And I believe that, you know, it's not part of the divine design for a person to be alone and spend their life alone, you know. And I've spent many years making excuses for mediocre men. I've spent many years making excuses for myself. I've spent many years being caught in this cycle. And when the fuck does the ride end? You know, when does the ride end? When does the merry-go-round stop going around? You know, and I just don't. I mean, maybe, you know, I have one-sided view because I am a woman who has been through some things, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand at what point in your life do you say enough is a fucking enough. It's enough. You know, it's enough. I spent years taking care of a man who was in prison that I was married to. Only for him to get out and try to take everything he could from me. Then, spent some years by myself. Spent some time alone. And just when I thought I was getting over the shit that had been done to me and the shit that I had done to myself, just when I thought I was getting over it, husband number 2 walks in. And do you know this fool cried on my shoulder about how much of a good woman I was and how much he prayed for me. And 2 days later, this man was trying to sleep with my mama or my next door neighbor. And thought it was funny. Thought it was cute. Nigga was laughing about me and he thought it was cute. And now, in the midst of all of this pain, it's turning into anger. And it's turned into, reflection. And it's turned into correction. Because I was angry at first. Like, how the fuck did I allow myself to be played by this dumb motherfucker? Like, I knew better. So I was mad. I was mad at him. I was mad at me. I was mad at everybody. And then I started to think and I started to reflect and I started to see where I ignored those flags. You see what I mean? But I also see where we all ignore those flags. We all settle because it's not fun being by yourself. It's not easy to do the work on self. So when I reflected upon that, I thought that we have got to hold ourselves to a certain standard. We've got to stop making excuses for these men who are stuck in their childhood wounds. Stop making excuses for these women who are stuck in their childhood wounds. It's time for y'all to do the work and stop pointing your finger and blaming every goddamn body else. I mean, if they're wrong, hold their ass accountable, of course. Indeed, by all means. But if you know you just as wrong as they is, don't forget to hold your motherfucking self accountable as well. They talk about divine feminines, divine masculines, and so on and so forth, and all of this and all of that, and twin flames and soul ties and I mean, everybody got their own process of healing. And like I said, like, I'm not mad about it now. I was mad. I'm more so flabbergasted, like confused. I mean, dumbfounded, speechless. Like, I'm sitting back watching these things out of my living room window, and it's sad. It's sad because I've watched good men be torn down. I've watched good men fall victim to this lack of accountability. Their mothers won't have accountability for the things that they've done to them. Their fathers won't take accountability for the things that they've done to them. And now these men are in a perpetual state of refusing to accept accountability. These women are in a perpetual state of refusing to accept accountability. I see women post pictures. Oh, when my new husband come into my life, I just want him to know that I could cook. So they posting pictures of food. They posting pictures of what they look like naked. They posting pictures of what they look like with clothes on. They posting pictures of their ring finger without a ring on it. They just keep sending those baits, that bait out there. They keep putting that bait out there. These women ain't did the work, because if they did the work, you wouldn't be posting pictures about the meal that you're going to cook for your new husband. You would be worrying about self. You would be focusing on self. You would not put bait out there if you was legitimately trying to build a partnership. Bait is for those who you prey upon. Bait is for those who you prey upon. See, you don't gotta bait your counterpart. No, you bait your prey. So Just as wrong as these men is, just as wrong as these women is. And, you know, y'all see my nappy afro. But nonetheless, just as wrong as these men is just as wrong as these women is. We gotta do better. We gotta do better. Why you spend your days, you know, worrying about your weaves and your eyelashes and your fingernails and your 10 toes and so on and so forth? You know, think for a second. Who the fuck are you doing it for? Are you doing it for society because they tell you that you need to put a straight comb through that mess? Are you doing it for your job because they won't let you come in with your hair sticking up on top of your head? Are you doing it to catch a man who really could give two fucks about what type of weave you got in your hair? What are we doing these things for? Are we doing anything to better self? Are we doing anything to better society for our children? You want your children to go through the same shit you went through looking for love in all the wrong places? Do you want your grandkids to come in this world and it's still the same that it was when you were a kid? No, you want change. You don't want your kids to go through the same shit you went through. You don't want your grandkids to have to live through the same struggles that you survived. And if you do, then you're a fucking fool. And if you don't stop today, look yourself in that motherfucking mirror and hold yourself accountable for the shit that you put up with and the shit that you let slide. Hold yourself accountable and hold the other motherfucker next to you accountable as well. You see what I mean? Accountability. You can't fix a problem if you don't at first acknowledge the problem. You know? I'm so glad that L kicked on because, boy, it's getting these likes, boy. But, you know, that was just some thoughts. I seen a person who, you know, talked a lot of trash about a woman. And I seen the woman that they were with. And I know this woman is a trick. I know she trick. I know she do. You know, and I ain't passing judgment on her or him. I'm just, you know, confused as what the fuck was you doing dogging out the other woman for? What was you dogging the other woman out for when you end up with what you told everybody that she was? You ran around the motherfucking city telling everybody she wasn't shit. And then the bitch that you ended up with is worse than the ain't shit bitch that you was with. You know what I mean? That shit is crazy, man. So I just want to drop that on y'all today. I mean, I know, you know, a lot of people pass judgment upon me. I get it. You know, ain't nothing a comb and a pick can't fix, though. You know what I mean? Great combo. Peace out. It was nice talking to you as well, Joe Bar, Elizer. I don't want to mess up your name, sweetie, but it was nice for you to come into my live, and I appreciate you, you know, spending some time with me. You have a good day. You be blessed. And, you know, y'all be good to yourselves, man. Y'all be good to others. And be the change that you're looking for. Wise.